What's going on, guys? I'm Ʇ46. You're watching Intrigue Airsoft. 20,000 subscribers is what we've just hit on my channel, and that is a huge number. I want to take this chance to thank you guys personally from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate the hell out of it. Thank you for the love. Thank you for supporting the channel and the guys that have been there from the early days of the reviews all the way up until the new subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the likes, for the thumbs up, for the shares, all that stuff. Thank you guys. Somebody suggested that maybe I should go over like all my stuff, kind of like an armory video. And I said, man, that's a tall order, but you know what, man? You guys are awesome. 20,000 subscribers. I'm gonna let you in on a little more of my personal life here. So without further ado, let's take a look at this stuff. Huge fan of the M9s. Always have been. Always will be. You know, before I get too far into this, the cool thing about playing Airsoft for a long time and acquiring a lot of different guns is that a lot of times you'll start off with the expensive stuff, and then years down the road you'll have the guys that are doing all the knockoffs. So, you know, like this used to be a Tóki Marui stock body on this thing. It cracked. Fortunately, I was able to upgrade it with some HFC parts a couple of years later on. So, always a cool thing, man. You know, it sucks for some of the manufacturers, I get it, but for the end user, for the consumer, having those cheaper clone parts are awesome. So, yeah, these are a mix of HFC and Tóki Marui M9s, and of course I got the mags to go with it. I got some of the extended round mags on it, and then 4 of the regular capacity mags. M9, love that. Used to be a huge M9 fan, still am. Still got a soft spot for the M9, so I can't get rid of those. You guys probably watch the reviews on this. This is the USP non-blowback CO2 HK. Really cool, man. Cool trademark, straight shooter. Good on CO2 consumption. Love this thing. If you guys are on a budget for a nice sidearm, but you want something that's dependable, that's going to shoot well, I recommend the CO2 non-blowback USP by Primaries. And then you got your other options like this. I think this is licensed by Cybergun. This is going to be another CO2 non-blowback, the Mp5s Smith & Wesson. These were popular out there for a while. I did have some issues with it, and you know, the thing about the CO2 is if you don't keep them nice and lubed up, because that CO2 is a little bit more harsh than the green gas is, and that CO2 doesn't have the silicone lube in it, your sills are going to start to get eaten alive. So unfortunately, that happened to that one. It needs some tender loving care, but I'll bring it back to life one of these days. What else, man? The Elite Force 1911. So this is going to be from the Red Jacket line that is now discontinued, but essentially it's going to be the Elite Force 1911 TAC. So same thing, except for, you know, a change in colors, and then you know, you got different grips on it. I painted my slide at one point. It didn't, the paint didn't adhere very well, but I think it kind of gave it a cool look. And it's just a solid shooter, man. The kick you get on this thing for the price point around 120, 125 for the 1911 TACs, I mean, they're great, man. The CO2, they're just fun to shoot. Single stack, I think they only hold 14 rounds. I'm just going to dry fire it for you guys, but that's just too much fun, man. Love these things. Make sure you pick up a spare pistol mag. Make sure you guys pick up a spare mag for these things, because you're going to chew through that 14 rounds real quick. I don't know why I've always held on to this one, man. But it was one of my first gas guns I got years ago. And it is a KJW. KJW, and it's like a Glock 23, like a baby Glock. And I don't know why I held on to it. It's just, I thought it was just kind of a fun gun. It's definitely, you know, a gun you can stuff in a pouch on your vest or something like that. And it's not going to take up too much space, but it's a, you know, nice little sidearm if you need it. Still works to this day, man. Nice little KJW little baby Glock. Love it. This thing's got to be like, I don't know, close to 9, 10 years old. What else? This is the HFC. HFC made a line of non-blowback green gas before the CO2 non-blowbacks came out. You know, before that, before CO2 was popular, you had your green gas non-blowbacks, and that's what we got here. Really beautiful design on the detail, the mold of the slide and everything like that. But my only gripe about this is it took those stupid stick mags. I hate stick mags. Give me a full-size mag. I understand it's non-blowback, I get it, but give me a full-size mag. But anyhow, it was a cool gun, man. Nice little 1911 A1. Really cool replica by KJW. There is my pistols. Oh, you know what? Hold on. One more. Can't forget little baby here. if you guys haven't watched my review lately, or if you're not from Kansas City locally, I've been rocking the hell out of this thing. Love it to death. This is the VFC MP7 Navy by Elite Force, and this thing rocks. CQB friendly for sure. Shoots around 330, 340. Now they do have, word on the street is they do have an adjustable, kind of like a end pass in it to increase or decrease your feet per second on it. But love this thing. Haven't had to do anything to it. It just shot great out of the box. Mine out of the box shot about 330, 335. Love it. The kick is great. The range is great. The hop up on this thing, man, you can sell these BBs. Phenomenal gas blowback. And the other cool thing, of course, is the VFC version of the MP7 is going to be 1-on-1 scale. It's actually 100% of the real MP7. Unlike the Marui or KWA, where it's like 80-85%. A little bit smaller. I like my replicas to be faithful to the replication. Got 3 mags for it. These things are beefy. These things are expensive too. Do not want to lose those, but love that. I figured that kind of fit my pistol category. MP7 machine pistol. There it is. Alright guys, let's move on to the primaries. Alright guys, I was packing up the pistols and I forgot to talk about this beefy bastard. This is a big old plastic gun. It's a Tokyo Marui, and this is the HK Mark 23, the Us Socom. Now the gas version of this came with the LAM unit with the big light and everything hanging off it. It was the cool gun back in the day. I think games like Splinter Cell made it real popular. Well, or you know, actual Navy SEALs Us Socom. But this was kind of a cool gun, and that I've always kind of kept around. Tokyo Marui, Springer baby, all day, every day. This is like the days of Springers when they used to cost like, you know, 40, 50 bucks for what they called an HG Springer or a high grade Springer. So yeah, there it is, man. That is, look at the engravings on it. You just can't find that anymore. You see that? Look at that. Alright guys, so let's start going over my primaries. AEGs is what I've run. I don't run any gas primaries or any HPA type primaries or Polar Stars or anything like that. I'm kind of a traditionalist. I like my AEGs, and sometimes, in this case, like the Tokyo Marui, sometimes I like my AEGs plastic. Now this is going to be the, oh man, what do they call this? The XM E7712. This is kind of like the prototype Car 15 that Marui put out. Very discontinued, very limited, but very cool. Echo One did a version of this called the SOG 68 not too long ago, and I'd like to get my hands on one of those, to be honest, so I don't have to field this one because I love this gun so much. It's got a pop out. Let me show you guys some of the cool features on this thing. This is gonna like replicate like the early M4s. You know, they had an M16. They wanted to shrink it down to carbine length, so that's what this is. Car 15 M16 carbine. But the stock had some cool features on it. You flip the switch on the back right here, and it pops out. Boom! Really cool, man. And it's a good length on it. It's good stock pull on it. It's got the A1, everything that we'd come to expect from the earlier versions of the M16. So it's got the A1's upper. Of course, you've got your VN style high cap magazine. I think it's like a 150, 160 round magazine in there. Really cool. You got your NOM era, A1 era, triangular, little cut down carbine handguards on it. Love this gun to death. Stock, you know, shooting 290 like all Maruis do. Love it. Very cool. One of my favorite M4s. Next M4 I got is the Elite Force 4CRS. Now this thing's been used, abused, dropped, dragged, kicked, spit on. Solid body on this. It's OEM by VFC, and they make a hell of a body on these things. Rail system's super nice. I love the look of it. Very original, very unique. The 4CRS, man. There you go. It's got some aftermarket parts on it. It's got a stock from the new gen M4 CQBs on it. I had to change out the pistol grip on it and change out the motor and things. But yeah, man. There it is. Elite Force 4CRS. All right. This is kind of a cool one. So this is going to be a G&G internally. G&G Combat Raider internals. It's got a Daniel defense rail on it, which is pretty neat. I just gave it a little tan snakeskin job on it. But it's got this huge suppressor on it. So it's kind of a work in progress, kind of a build in progress. I got this thing used, but it's been sitting there. It's very pleasant to look at. It's a really cool wall hanger. Shoots great. G&G internals are great, as you guys know. So there's that one. I just acquired this little beaut into the arsenal. Now this is the G&G GR16 or the M4A1, or excuse me, A2, but it's going to be the pneumatic blowback on it, which is really neat. So it's got a little proprietary gearbox design from G&G that instead of actually touching the piston to blow back, it just siphons a little bit of air off the gearbox to blow that little door back. But it's not, you know, anything I'd write home about. But anyways, the internals underneath all that is still G&G, still dependable, still good stuff. This is kind of a work in progress. It's kind of a kind of a cross between like an old school Black Hawk Down type gun and something with a little new flavor to it. Still working on it, but I'm really digging the look so far. G&G, another M4. All right, so this, let me turn it around here. This is going to be, before you could get your hands on the VFC version of the 416. There are some 416 versions out there. This is going to be the version JG put out years ago. I think you can still find it out there. JG's kind of a hit and miss type thing. If you can get some decent internals on the gun, odds are they might last, but it seems either they're great out of the box or they're terrible out of the box. I've always had good experiences with the JG anytime I've bought them new. So this is the JG. I think they called it the 614 to get around getting sued by HK, but yeah, so now it did have like the clone version of the upper receiver from a Marui, so it had the little tabs that dipped down in there, so it opened up like a real AR. But the problem was the tabs were plastic, so anytime you put any pressure on this receiver, they'd break. But you know, put a little 550 quarter on it, boom, you're back in business. So there is my JG 416. Still got that rocking and rolling. This is one of the new guns on the market that I'm a huge fan of. Like, I can't say enough good things about this gun, to be honest. And not just because it's my gun, but I've had a lot of experience with different M4s, as you guys can see. And especially on the competition grade type M4s. You know, I've ran all the cheap stuff, from G&Gs to Lancer Tactical to, you know, the Black Ops stuff from Walmart, all that. And for the price, hands down, the new gen M4 CQB and CQC from Elite Force. It's OEM by Aries. They know what they're doing, man. Solid internals on this thing. The motor's great, super snappy on it. With the 9.6 NiCad, you don't even need a 7.4 LiPo or an 11.1. With a 9.6, this thing is snappy. Even with the 8.4, it does the job. Just super beautiful replica. Great battle rifle. Very ready for the field. You don't got to do anything to it. But if you wanted to, you know, it's got the quick change spring, blah, 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 and it's got the micro switch. I just love these things. And love them so much. Sell the hell out of them at Intrigue Airsoft. I recommend them highly. You know, you're looking around that $1.50, $150 price point on something like that. But I love them so much. I recommend them to friends. My friends get into it. They start changing out their uppers, and I say, well, hey, give me your old upper. You know what I mean? So getting different uppers for pennies on the dollar. So I've got different setups going on, which I'm really digging. So like, as you can see, I've got my, you know, my 203 Grenader set up here, and this thing is heavy. This thing's a beast. But if that thing's killing me and killing the back, I can just throw on the Old Faithful, the old regular, you know, plain Jane M4 upper on it, which is great. You know, changing out uppers and changing out barrels on these things is a cinch, and yeah, really love them, man. So there's that. For the last of the M4 series, this is gonna be kind of a Franken gun. So, oh man, let's see. Going back to what I was talking about earlier of getting parts with clone parts getting cheaper, and then, you know, you can use quality internal parts, but if they break, or external parts, but if they break, you can start replacing them with cheaper Chinese options. This is kind of the case of this gun. So, okay, here we go. This is going to have a Marui M4 rail system on the front from an old Marui rail system. And then I think the receiver is going to be D-Boys on it, so a nice metal, solid D-Boys. D-Boys made a really good M4 receiver. Pretty durable stuff. And then I've got a Marui solid stock on it. Now internally, this thing is going to be all Lancer Tactical. Everything down to that clear plastic see-through hop up in there. So internally, everything is going to be Lancer Tactical down to the motor. I believe this is still the original Lancer Tactical pistol grip on here. The gearbox is all uncracked, still just stock Lancer Tactical, barrel hop-up assembly, all Lancer Tactical. Lancer made a badass M4 internally. And I think they still do, internally. Externally, obviously you guys know that's where the savings at. It's gonna be plastic. But so if you guys have the parts laying around like I did and you're looking to replace a gearbox or a bunch of stuff, Lancer Tactical internals are quality for sure, man. They will get the job done. All right, getting into the AKs. This is gonna be the Beta Project AK. This thing is solid, man. It is a freaking elephant. It's got some really good heft to it. And by that I mean it's really heavy. Really nice though, really cool features on it, like the ambidextrous, you know, charging handle option on it. It's got the AR style buffer tube on it, so you can put whatever kind of AR type stock you want on. In this case, I got the G&G style mag pole. Big fan of these type of stocks. This is kind of G&G's version of the mag pole, but love it, man. Very nice stock. And this thing is hefty. Like I said, man, it's heavy. It's got a nice rail on it, so you can put whatever kind of optics you want on it. And they're just solid shooters, man. I'm running an Echo 1 brand, kind of the waffle AK high caps in there. Big fan of those. Or the 5.56 version of them, or whatever the fuck it is. Love those mags. Really cool look for it for sure. Very nice modern looking AK variant. Very cool. And then, of course, if you guys have, for you guys that have been following me, you know what this is, man. This is the old Ʇᴜ Marui. This thing is a workhorse. It is faithful. It is a good shooter, a straight shooter, solid shooter. Ʇᴜ Marui. Now I haven't upgraded this one internally. Shoots about 330, 340 with .20. And then the other cool thing is, let's see if you can pick it up in there. I don't know if you will be able, well, a little bit. But there's light bulbs in it. A good friend of mine here locally, Mr. Shem Yap, put 5 UV LED bulbs around the hop-up and drilled holes into the hop-up. And it's a main line to the battery, so once you plug in the battery, it gets those UV LED lights glowing. So if you got glow-in-the-dark BBs, boom, pop those in. You're shooting tracers without a tracer suppressor, you know, or whatever, or a tracer mag. So really cool, man. Old faithful Ʇᴜ Marui. Doesn't get much better than that as far as the AK variant goes. As far as I'm concerned, this one deserves to be in there as well. It's not all going to fit in frame, that's for sure. This is going to be the SVD, the Dragnov. Now this is the Springer version from A&K. This is the big old Springer version from A&K. Really cool gun, man. Good shooter. The other really cool thing about it is it's really easy to take down, to take apart, and inside it, it actually takes an AEG spring. So as far as upgrades go, super simple. And especially being a Springer, like it's virtually a quick change Springer. So if you want this thing to shoot a little bit harder, man, you just pop in, you know, like a regular AEG M150, M160, whatever you want in there. It's going to be a little bit rougher on the internals, of course, but out of the box, this thing's shooting about 420, 430, and no complaints from me. Nice solid shooter, good hop up on it, nice barrel on it. So there's the big old SVD from A&K. We're getting close to the end of my AEG collection, but I wanted to throw in the shotguns, of course. This is, you know, kind of the bread and butter of any beginner loadout, to be honest. You know, I always recommend a good AEG, something that's going to be, you know, easily available for parts, mags, things like that, accessories. So, you know, AK, MP5, M4, something like that. Then get yourself a nice sidearm, nice CO2 blowback, or maybe a non-blowback, depending on how much you want to spend, you know what I mean? But then, when you're looking for something else, I always recommend the shotgun. Get yourself a pump action Springer shotgun, just because they're fun, they work, and they're just stupid fun for the money, man. So yeah, this is going to be from like Firepower, or the Cybergun rebranded, whatever it is. You know, they're all pretty much the same for the most part. This is going to be your tri-shot shotgun. So it's going to be the shell-fed shotgun. Shoots 3 every time you pump it and pull the trigger. So there you go. Got that. And then you can get into like even the cheaper ones. They're getting a little bit harder to find as far as being shell-fed. You can find a lot of single-shot shotguns that are like the mag-fed ones from Walmart. But as far as the single-shot shotgun shell-fed shotguns, they're getting a little bit harder to find. I've had this one, geez, too long, maybe 6 or 7 years now, and it just hasn't broke down, you know. I think I ended up paying, like, on GI, Airsoft GI, I think I only paid like I want to say like 25 or 30 bucks for the thing. It was one of those deals I just kind of threw on the end of another order, you know, getting an AEG or something back in the day. Threw this on there maybe to you know, just get a solid number or something. But really fun. This thing shoots like in the day. I think the last time I chronoed it was shooting like right around 290, but when it first came out of the box, this thing was clocking like 350, 360, and it was just slinging BBs. The hop up on it was very adjustable and very useful, and the BBs were just sell, dude. This was like a shotgun sniper rifle. That thing was awesome. I used that outdoors back in the day, and then of course, to pay homage to the grandfather of them all, this was given to me from a good friend. This is the Tokyo Marui M3 Super 90, and this thing is like a freaking tree trunk, man. Shooting this thing is a dream, though. You know, if you can ever put a Marui tri-shot shotgun pump action next to, you know, a Chinese clone or something like that, you can feel the difference on the pump. When you pump it back, you can feel the quality in the Marui. It's a lot easier pull, it's a lot smoother, and you're still getting that consistent feet per second. Now Maruis are going to be set, and a lot of these clones are too. Marui's set for 0.25 BB, so putting 0.20s in there, you get a little curve up at the end. But if you put 2.5s in Marui, this thing will feed all day, and you'll just watch that tight grouping, that tri-shot tight group, and just sail, man, with that awesome Tokyo Marui hop-up rubber in there. So love that thing. Fielded it, loved it, put it on the wall. It's a huge shotgun. So like, okay, so in Airsoft, when you think like shotgun, you're like, all right, yeah, I need something that's gonna, you know, be able to clear rooms and things like that. But this thing is just like, it's so big, you got to use it outdoors, and then you get outdoors and you're like, well, now I'm getting outgunned, I might as well have an AEG because of ammo capacity, things like that. So really cool. However, it is a faithful replica of the M3 Super 90 by Tokyo Marui. Alright guys, this is a little bit more of the exotic type stuff in my collection. This is going to be a Tokyo Marui Mph5s. Yeah, this is like the workhorse of the Airsoft AEG world back in like the 90s and early 2000s. Straight up plastic gun, proprietary gearbox, high speed motor in it, made and optimized to shoot like, to shoot a laser. You know, Marui wanted to really show off the power of the AEG gearbox design. They really wanted to show what it could do, you know what I mean? And so they optimized the crap out of this thing to shoot like 280 consistently, just shoot a stick of BBs, and it really did with the high-speed motor in there. You don't really want to upgrade a FAMAS, and you know, of course, later on, Cybergun and some other companies started to kind of make their Chinese clone of the FAMAS, and you know, they're shooting like 350, like 400 out of the box. And of course, you know, you start seeing the gearboxes crack in weird places because it's a proprietary gearbox. They had to stuff in this thing, being a bullpup design, they had to fit it all in the back there. And you started seeing gearboxes crack. Well, it's like, yeah, man, you're replicating a gearbox design that was only, you know, designed to withstand a spring hammering out 280, 290 feet per second. So, anyways, this one still shoots. This one's still stock. Never been cracked open. Freshly mint inside. Tokyo Marui FAMAS. Really cool. Now, the really cool thing about it, too, had a huge... And I think it came originally with the 7.2 volt NiCad battery that you'd stick in there. It didn't even come with the 8.4. That's how old school this was. Like, so from, you know, just to put everything into perspective, an old school gun like this, one of the first AEGs out there to get, you know, cranking on the battlefield, that came in the box. Marui equipped it with 7.2 NiCad nickel cadmium battery. You know, and then to put it in today's terms, where we're using 11.1 lipos. I mean, that's insane, man. But, you know, demands are different, I guess. Really cool gun. Very nice collector's piece. Love this thing. Fielded it. Trust me, I've used it, man. I've used it and abused it, and, you know, it's a solid plastic AEG, but it's that quality plastic, and it's the original design that really makes this thing sturdy, that it's replicated through Tokyo Marui's design here. So, really cool gun. Love it. FAMAS. Alright, wrapping up my AEG collection. Back here in the back, I've got my Tokyo Marui Mp5s B, which is a solid shooter. Got this from another good friend of mine here local in Kansas City, Mr. Greg Patches-Smith. Thank you for that. Love this gun. Whoever he got it from had actually upgraded it with a full metal suppressor. And back in the day, like, you got a Marui Mp5s B, the first thing you did was buy the metal suppressor to screw on there. So really cool replica from Marui. Still shoots great. Solid, untouched, untapped gearbox. And then I've got my you know, I've got, jeez, let me move this stuff so you can see what's going on here. This is gonna be another one from the HK family. This is gonna be the Tokyo Marui PSG-1 from H&K. This is the H&K replica sniper rifle, semi-auto. This thing is a beast. If you haven't seen my video on it, go back and look at my videos. You can see what it's all about. Really cool gun, very unique, highly collectible, very discontinued, but it's one of those cool guns. Now the other cool thing is, sorry, I was shooting this one earlier and it's still got BBs in there. It's on safe, I promise. Don't worry about it. This is not a it's not a Tokyo Marui, but it's a really good replica of a replica of a replica. This is going to be the JG's version, JG clone of a TM G3 SG1. Super cool gun, man. Had a chance to try to use this at the indoor field here in Kansas City, Intrigue Airsoft, and it works, but it's like holding a 2x4 out in front of you. Really neat gun though. Loved it. Cool thing about the PSG-1 and the G3 line from JG, you know, Tokyo Marui or whatever, is that all the mags are compatible. So this big old high cap could feed into that PSG-1 behind it and vice versa. So you might see some of these parts going into that PSG-1 and getting her back up and running. Maybe like a full auto PSG-1. Anyways, so there it is, guys. That is going to be the end of my AEG collection. Thank you for watching. Oh, I almost forgot. Hold on. I almost forgot all the mags. Thanks for watching, guys. You guys are awesome. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tune in next time for the Armory edition of gear. Check you next time, guys.